let those dry. Trusty mat for laying down on. Then close this. I think I'm going to end up doing is two things. So, all right, I'm actually going to end up moving my shackle one further back with the tire on the tire carrier. I'm getting beyond 45, and once I add the fuel and the other gear and the back of the Jeep, I'm going to need that extra little bit. So, anyhow, my plan on either side to support the corner, I'll probably do both quarters, though I may only need to do this side, is to come off with the bracket here, off the side of my shackle relocation bracket, a piece of stock of some sort. I haven't decided yet which size or what. And then I want to tie in to this plate here. I don't know if you can see that or not. All right, what was I saying? All right, come off the side of my shackle relocation bracket and then tie in to this vertical. That should give me the lower support in the corner to prevent the weight from pulling it down and twisting the bumper. Do that on either side. And then I'm also thinking to provide some additional support at the recovery points. This is really a pain in the ass. Alright, provide some additional support at the recovery points of the bumper. It'll be to come off these two bolts here off the unibody, where these tie into those unibody brackets that I mentioned in previous videos, and then tie into this vertical that runs up between these two brackets. Another option is just to come off both sides of my shackle relocation bracket and tie in to right here, which honestly would probably be the easiest option. And everything I do, I want to do with mechanical fasteners, and I don't want to do any welding on the bumper itself. I'm not sure how well I was able to capture that via video, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do it with the bumper on also. So, all right, so I'm digging around through my pile of scrap metal, courtesy of the salvage yard. It's a good place to find stuff. It's random stuff. You may need it, may not need it, but I found what I needed. So what I have here is a roughly 7.5 foot length of 2" by 1" by 1/8" thick rectangular steel tubing. I'm going to cut 2 lengths of 10 inches, and then we'll go ahead and make some paper templates so that I can get them shaped so that they slide into and up against the angled part of the bumper. And then on that end, we'll go ahead and weld some flat stock with a gusset across the top, and they'll bolt 2 bolts in through the side of the shock relocation bracket, and then we'll have 1 big bolt up through the flat stock into the flat stock of the bumper. It should be enough. If it's not, I can add a second one on the inside of each shock relocation bracket, but I'm thinking it's probably not going to be necessary. But here we go. All right, so there are got 2 main supports cut, lightly sanded. They'll get a better sanding before paint. We've got our edges beveled, ready for weld. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean up some of this sheet. Go ahead and measure out, cut the gussets, wherever support brackets. Get those tacked in. Check fit. Make sure there's no clearance issues. Get those welded up. Once that's done and these are cleaned up, go ahead and get these clamped in place. I'll drill the bolt holes in each side of the flange through the bumper, probably starting from the outside of the bumper in. And then I'm going to go ahead and do gussets on the lower part too. And then I'm going to come up through the bottom with a 5/16 inch. These will be 1/2 inch through the main plate here. And then I've got 1/2 inch to go through the rear part of the support and the shackle relocation bracket. Hi y'all. Nick, coming back to you here. Finished fabbing up these brackets. These will sit alongside the shackle relocation brackets off to the outside of the brackets. They'll sit up against, flush the inside of the bumper. We'll bolt through here, one on either side, and then we'll drill out and bolt a couple up to the bottom here also. So we're going to go ahead and get these over on the vise, get them cleaned up, get them set and clamped in place, and get our pilot holes drilled. Okay, so with these cleaned up, I'm going to crawl under, get each of these clamped in place. So we know where the sides are. Before we drill our holes, we're going to use some 2-inch tape. Alright, so I did here, made the pieces extra long and then doubled them over. So once this is in place, I should be able to fold this up over the bumper, and that should give me my edge line. Move this down a little bit. I'm going to do with that clamped in place is drill some small pilot holes through the bumper and out of the bracket so we know where to make our bigger holes for the bolts. We'll do ones for the rear first, and then we'll come up from underneath and do those second. So, we got our points on here. We know we're ready to drill our holes. You may be wondering, why didn't I mark these yet? Well, I want to make sure we get these holes drilled, get this bolted in, and then mark and drill these holes. That way we know we've got a nice solid fit rather than components pulling against each other because the holes don't quite line up like the way they're supposed to. Got our brackets drilled out. Made our pilot hole through the marks. I'm drilling through the bumper with a smaller bit, less than a 1/4 inch. And then we went ahead and finished them off and got them to size using a Christmas tree bit or a stepper bit. If you don't know what that is, that's a Christmas tree bit or a stepper bit. We're going to go ahead and use the stepper bit to get our bumper holes up to where they need to be. So we just got these back off. We had them on there. Everything lines up nice. We got our 2 spots punched for our cross member bolts. They're going to go through here and through the shackle relocation brackets. We're going to use the drill press to drill those out to ensure that we get a nice straight hole through the 1x2. Just fabbing up our brackets. I'm hanging right here. All the holes are drilled. Ends are capped. Everything's been smoothed out a little bit, not super smooth, but just to get the slag and the splatter off. Clean with brake cleaner. Go ahead and hit them with a Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer. A couple coats of that on the set, and we'll go ahead and hit them with the Rust-Oleum truck bed liner. Alright, so moment of truth. Got the new brackets I fabbed up for additional support in the corners for the swing out tire carrier. These are painted, ready to go. Got our hardware. Got 4 5/16 inch grade 8 bolts with washers and nylocks. That's for coming up through the very bottom of the bumper. 4 grade 8 1/2 inch washers and nylocks. That'll be for coming through the rear of the bumper. And then 4 1/2 inch, like 5 inch bolts for bolting through the relocation bracket and into the new brackets. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it works. Let's get her done. Go ahead and tighten up the bigger bolts first and then the smaller ones. Do you think that one thing I'm going to do is get a piece of pipe, some sort of sleeve to put over the longer bolt going through the shackle relocation bracket to keep the bolt from squeezing that bracket together. But see if we got a wobble free tire rack now. It's pretty solid. Got it open. Let's see if we have any flex. No flex. Whole truck moved. This is a little bit, but terrible, not like it was. I wonder if I can put all my weight on this. All right, here we are, folks. 230 pounds. I will take it because that is 90, 80. What was that? 170, 50, 60 pounds more than I'm going to have on it with a spare tire. And the jerry cans. In fact, I might be able to mount my high lift jack on it here too. That would be another 33 pounds. So still less than me. I think it works. The job well done. We'll come back when I get everything mounted on it and show you how it works.